Hello, everyone. This is Mr. Informal back with a new podcast. We are on the Mr. Informal podcast 207. Yes, could you believe that? 207 Mr. Informal podcast. I go by the name of Mr. Informal. Hopefully, you do not forget that. And I hope you are doing great today. I hope you are healthy and I hope you are enjoying life. Please do not forget to add me on Instagram, MisterInformal, and then check out my website, mrinformal.com, mrinformal.com. And so, what do we have for this Mr. Informal podcast number 207? Well, number one, GOAT has bought Grailed. For those who don't know, Levi's have a few violations. Google has finally released their new smartphone, the Pixel 7. And then last but not least, the blame game. I'm going to get into that more later. Or should I say the last topic. And so, those are the four topics for this Mr. Informal Podcast 207. And so, let's go ahead and start the podcast. On to topic number one. From retail.com, titled GOAT Group agrees to buy streetwear marketplace Grailed. Yes, one of my favorite reseller websites out there. Grailed. Bought a few things over there which is pretty cool, but too bad they're getting purchased. So the GOAT Group has agreed to acquire streetwear resale marketplace Grailed. The sneaker platform said Monday. Terms are undisclosed. The merged entity will boast more than 50 million members in 170 countries. The transaction is subject to regulatory approvals and customary closing conditions and is expected to close in about 45 days. The deal follows GOAT investment in Grailed September 2021, according to a GOAT press release. Why is it undisclosed? I wonder why. So, the GOAT, which attracted $100 million investment from Foot Locker 3 years ago, which began sneaker resale, but as of 2019 also sells apparel and accessories, including new merchandise from major fashion brands. Order volume more than doubled in the last 12 months, per Monday's press release. So, how does that tie into Grailed? How does Grailed tie it in? Well, let's see. Grailed co-founder and CEO Arun Gupta in a statement said that GOAT Group stood out as a right partner to help make fashion more accessible to the global style community. What does that even mean? Isn't that what GOAT is already for? So why do you need Grailed? Honestly, I do think that, in my opinion, Grailed is going to be phased out. It's going to disappear. Because there's no point. Because if you have GOAT, which basically is a resale marketplace for used to be just sneakers and now it's apparel and accessories. So now what do you have for Grailed now? It won't make sense. So as of right now, I would not be surprised if Grailed just disappeared entirely. Now I do think that Grailed has very nice items in there, and sometimes you get rare items, but at the same time I think it also lost its weight. It lost its ways. Grailed used to be a lot of people used to sell at Grailed, especially menswear, but now I guess people move to Poshmark, people move to Tradesy, or move to a better platform. But and nobody really knows what Grailed is there for now, especially when you have GOAT. Honestly, I never bought from GOAT. I don't really have plans of buying anything at GOAT. In terms of reselling, I prefer Grailed or other marketplace out there. I find GOAT system lacking. I do know it's very popular. A lot of sneakerheads love selling at GOAT, but that's about it. But in terms of accessories and apparel, I don't think GOAT is that good of a resale market. But in any case, I don't understand why the terms are undisclosed. It doesn't make sense. I'm pretty sure they probably bought Grailed for, let's say, 50 million or 100 million. I wouldn't be surprised if the range is around there. And man, I guess the CEO just make a lot of money. I think the CEO already saw the future, the visions, saying that Grailed is not going to be there anymore. Grailed, there was a point in that Grailed was very popular, but again, not anymore. On to the second topic from RetailDive.com, titled Levi's sees jump in supplier violations, points to wage payment challenges. What does that even mean? So, violation amongst Levi Strauss Tier 1 and Tier 2 suppliers or factories jumped in 2021 across all categories according to the retailer's annual sustainability report. The increase occurred in part because apparel and footwear suppliers struggled to make timely wage payments as the China virus pandemic dried up their cash flow. Levi said in the September report, in some cases, supplier hadn't met new requirements established by the company in 2020. Delays in remittance of Social Security benefits, severance payments to workers, delays in permits renewals, and other issues associated with the pandemic were reported during the assessment. Levi said that, adding that it worked with suppliers to meet their legal obligation to pay their workers. So, back in 2019, they had 425 violations. In 2020, they had 449. In 2021, they had 4,356 violations. Wow! That is unbelievable. Well, I guess I'm glad that I don't buy Levi's anymore. After the violations skyrocketed in 2021, Levi said in a report that it's leaning on corrective action plans to help suppliers comply with the company's code of conduct going forward. The retailer said that it is providing suppliers with training and resources and capacity building necessary to tackle systemic issues. A special focus was placed on licensees who were hit harder by the pandemic than direct consumers, according to Levi's. Zero-tolerance violations are considered serious breaches of the supplier's code of conduct, which required immediate remediation. Honestly, these is all talk. Do I believe that they're gonna create corrections? Most likely. But do I believe they're gonna create a timely correction plan? I don't think so. Also, I'm pretty sure Levi's is also violating their own terms, and I don't think that during 2021 or even 2020 they were focused on violations and making corrective plans. Because think about it, all of these violations carried over to 2021, and you're telling me that 2020 didn't just happen? Levi's knew what happened in 2020. They also know what happened in 2021. We had they had inventory problems in the year 2020 and 2021. So of course they were forcing their factories to get their stuff delivered on time. And they probably, and I'm not saying this is true. I don't have proof. They might be holding payments to their suppliers because it could be that the suppliers can't ship on time, or they were probably asking for discounts. Levi's was doing that, and by doing that, of course, the workers were not getting paid enough, or they're not getting paid on time because Levi's was probably hostage, have the money on hostage. So for them to even say that, there's major violations in our suppliers and it's not us. Come on, let's be honest. It's also you. You can't tell me that it's just the suppliers creating these violations. Now, don't get me wrong. There are cases and instances that it is the suppliers or factory's fault. But again, isn't that Levi's the responsibility to go over there, at least check maybe once in a quarter or maybe once in 6 months to check who their suppliers are? I mean, you gotta go there for inspection. So this past week, Google have announced the new smartphones, the Pixel 7 and the Pixel 7 Pro. Now I'm probably gonna create a video of my thoughts, analysis, and rant about this, but honestly, and for the sake of the truth, it was underwhelming. And seriously, I really want to talk about this because Google just seems to just make smartphones just to create smartphones and just to be relevant out there. This thing called vanilla or true Android OS, like raw Android OS, nothing, no makeup, no facelift or anything, or additional software. Come on, we're past that. I mean, we've had CPUs that can run basically anything at nanoseconds. And I do think that this Pixel 7 and Pixel 7 Pro is gonna fail, just like the 6, just like the 5. Basically, I'll be honest, basically all of the Pixel phones. I mean, I'm still trying to wonder why even Google even try. Not only that, no one even knows what's going on with Google. Even they don't even know what's going on with the Pixel. I mean, yeah, they had the Pixel department creating and designing phones, maybe the 8, so and so. But can they at least even try to compete with the market? Why not just go for the throat and just compete at the top? Like, let's not even compete for second, let's compete for the first place. But as you can tell, are they even trying to go for the first place? No, because if they were, the Pixel would be more popular than ever. I mean, they're not even trying to go to the consumers. They're not even going with the they don't even have their own store. Man, have I ever been to a Google store, a retail store? I don't think so. I mean, I know Samsung has their own store. I know Apple has their own store. I mean, I know there are other retailers out there that partner with their retailers, such as Best Buy, Costco. Like, come on. I mean, for those who use Pixel, I know they love the vanilla experience and the timely updates. Don't get me wrong, I think that's a great benefits, but at the same time, in the end, while you're using the phone, do you really think about that? I mean, I think it's all about the user experience and what kind of physical features it has. From my experience, Google Pixel never had the best camera. It could have been LG, Samsung, or even Apple had the best camera. Even Motorola had the best camera at one point. I mean, Google always talking about phones, and yet here we are feeling underwhelmed. I mean, even the pricing went up. I mean, if I was really going for the first place, F it. I'm just gonna lower my margin and just price the phone not even competitively, low to the point where people wouldn't buy it. Who wouldn't buy it? The Pixel 7 Pro is gonna be $600, while the Pixel 7 is gonna be, let's say, $500. Why not? I mean, the CPU or the processor technology are plateaued so much that even last year's CPU can still run great. But they're trying to sell you something new, something faster, so they could actually back up their pricing. But we all know that we're already past that. Even the consumers are smart enough that there's really no point of an upgrade every year. So on to the last topic. I call it the blame game. There's no articles or no facts or no data, stats, or none of that. Basically, is I call it the blame game. Is, as you know, prices of goods, whether it be apparel, electronics, even food, groceries, basically everything's going up, and it's pretty obvious. It's pretty normal that consumers like us are holding back, are saving up their money, not spending too much. And then you got retailers complaining that they're not selling enough. Then that's when they have layoffs, terminating people, firing people because they didn't do too good from previous market or previous quarter, previous sales, whatever you want to call it. So it's almost as if we're being blamed because of economic downfall or economic recession. And yet, if the prices is going up, isn't it obvious that we as consumers or we as the people should not be spending unnecessary things or unnecessary stuff in life? That to me is pretty obvious. But you got these reporters, the media, or other news outlet out there, even social media, that consumers are spending less, and that results into company firings, termination, layoffs, and also performance because of us. How? I would think that a person who's saving up money, no matter what the season is or what the year is, it just so happens that a lot more people are doing this at the same time. So how can it be blame on us? And what's wrong with people saving up money for the future? In case of something happen, in case of an emergency, it's pretty obvious that the higher ups or billionaires, millionaires, whatever you want to call it, that don't have problems with money want us to stay poor. Why? Why is it that only a few percentage of population are that wealthy, and yet the people who are lower than them stay poor? Also, it's not just, I'm not blaming them, but it's also blame ourselves too, because we're not saving up, we're not thinking about the future. A recession or economic downfall or economic instability, whatever you want to call it, is always going to be happening every 5 years or every 10 years. It doesn't matter. No matter the year, no matter the season, or no matter the month, you should always save up in case of an emergency, no matter what it is. It could be 3K, 5K, 10K, 100K, whatever, as long as you can survive. And then when it's over, obviously, then you can go ahead and spend or save some more. But the notion of this blaming it on consumers because of instability or someone getting fired at the job, that seems ridiculous to me. I believe that it should be the company's fault here. They know. Think about it. These companies are not stupid. Why even go on a hiring spree when you know that the economy is gonna go down or the economy is not gonna grow? Why? And then upper management don't blame themselves. They blame it on the market, or they always say, "Oh, it's not us. It's because of the market." Come on, that's basically blaming it on us, consumers, just the general population. It's absolutely ridiculous that we go through this, and yet the upper management don't blame themselves. They always say, "Oh, I feel bad, or I feel sad, or it's heartbreaking. Oh, I can't sleep at night." Like, stop it. I don't understand that notion. I do not understand that point. It's so obvious that there's always going to be a bull market, a bear market, up and down, and you're telling me that you're not prepared for that? You don't see that at some point? In if you're gonna go on high stream spree, then hire enough. But after that, even if the economy down, don't even hire at all. And just make sure you are ready for the next year. But there are CEOs, there are management out there that just do not see that, and they will never blame themselves for that. And so that basically concludes this Mr. Informal podcast number 207. Yes, 207. I hope you enjoyed this edition of podcast, and I hope you listen to me beginning to end. If you did, I do appreciate it. Please do not forget to add me on Instagram, MISTERINFORMAL, and then check out my website, mrinformal.com, MRINFORMAL.com. And so I will see you in the next podcast. More topics, so and so. And so, see you in the next one. Bye-bye.